Hello everyone, Venris here, and today we'll be talking about the giant frogs that are part of Rise of the Rat new SFO 3 update that is coming up publicly this Thursday, so 18th of September. Important note, the changelog for the update is now available for the patrons, will be public on the day of release with a video going into the detail all changes and things that are in this update. In this video we'll be talking about the Lizardman and, as I said, a giant frog, but it is not a whole Lizardman faction changes showcase. I will be just showing some more interesting stuff in my opinion, and the rest is for you to discover. So let's just hop in and talk about the giant frogs again, because this is a nice word and I like to repeat it. First thing that you will notice is that the technologies were changed. In vanilla, technologies finally got a change, because in my opinion that was the worst technology tree in whole game or free games ever made. There were no such terrible technology tree ever made. So I'm quite happy that they actually changed it. It's very similar to what SFO was doing, so I really don't mind it, because I think we had a good idea with making groups like that. This is very similar to what we had, but we also had some differences. And the big difference here is that all of those technologies, when done, were moving, progressing something different, and the progression of something different is a favor. When we go through technologies here, there are some changes. We make sure that all of them got interesting, how to call it, effects, and make that all of them have the same amount of powerful effects and so on. So when we go to the last tab, we have a favor, and favor in SFO was working that when you finish one tab, you are getting the passive gain of favor. And this is working a bit similar, but the difference here is that you need to do the technology. That, as you can see, if I click here, it shows me that I need this whole war technologies to do. And when we do all of war, this is only one turn, you do it and you start generating favor. And favor has two lines that are very powerful. One is focused on characters and the second is on magic. And each of those is having some really cool, crazy bonuses for slan, for corruption, army abilities like global healing for all the Lizardmen, and so on and so on. They are really cool in my opinion, so you should be happy with them. For example, at the end we have a gigantic web total rework, making that it's just starting at level 4 everywhere on the map, which I totally love, by the way. Other small change, small and not small, is that we worked a bit on the buildings. SFO had own level of buildings, their progression and so on, so we decided to stay with SFO, meaning that there is no level 4 of Sotek. We removed those. I think level 3 is fine. It doesn't need to be more. The Historians are a very powerful unit. We don't need more capacity for them because they are just powerful. The public order building, we left it as it was, even buffed it, so it's even better. Changes went to some of the landmarks for the Lizardmen, because in SFO the growth to getting to tier 5 settlements is quite long, so we lowered some of the landmarks to be lower tier and also better. The Blessed Incubators is a very good example. In vanilla it just lowers the upkeep for big monsters. For Lizardmen now it's also increasing the replenishment rate and speed, so it's way more worth it, especially that many other buildings are also good. Stellar Pyramids of Southern Skies is giving a legendary unit, so it's still good. There are some small buffs, like a smith building is decreasing the construction cost even more right now, and as I said, things here and there. Important note, as we are here, is that we are not changing geomantic web overall, how it is working, but we are making it a bit better. Very important to notice here, geomantic web is a system that is not perfect in a game. Okay, I don't mind it how it is right now, but the problem with it's very passive system, meaning that you just click and you don't care about it, and that's it. Really, yes, it happens. We are trying to make it a bit more interesting by making that the edicts that sadly I don't have on this save that you can see is that all of them are now increasing the blessed spawning sequences, meaning that no matter what commandment you have, you're always getting the passive income. In vanilla they made that only one of them is doing this, which is very weird. We made that all of them are doing it, so all of them are worth it, so you can just swap them when you want for different effects. Increasing the geomantic web make that you will have more spawning sequences, so you'll be able to get more blessed units. If you don't know, the blessed units in SFO are extremely powerful because they not only cool new abilities, but they also have the blessed scrap upgrade. So when you have a blessed units playing Lizardman in SFO, you're able to customize them in many different ways. I think there are 9 blessings total, and each blessed unit have 3 different ones that exclude themselves. So very cool stuff. But talking about the spawning sequence, the change that was done here, which is also quite important in terms of the balance of SFO, is that the Star Chamber right now is lowering the cooldown for Rite of Awakening. So the one that gives you Slan. Slan in SFO are like legendary lords. They're extremely powerful, very expensive. The cooldown is 50 turns as a base, but also very powerful. Creative Assembly made that this Rite of Awakening is giving the spawning sequences. Yes, meaning that it's giving, I don't know why it's 75 showing, I need to check it. Okay, I know, because of the rights cost. Okay, I know what to do with it. I will fix it in a moment. Don't worry, I will fix it. But the Rite of Awakening is giving a spawning sequence when performed, meaning that this you can get 100 more per 50 turns, which is almost nothing. Let's face it, especially that they are costing like 375. Those costs were rebalanced. Some of them were lowered. Most of them are lowered right now on par with each other. But means that, wow, I get nothing from here. But we are making that the temples of old ones and temples of Sotek are giving the spawning sequence earns by the rites, so Rite of Awakening, by 25%. So meaning that the thing will be giving just more sequences when you can stack. In vanilla it was that the commandments was doing it. As I said, commandments are just to get the blessed spawning. If you want to get more from the rites, you just need to make temples, and over time when you do the awakening stuff, Rite of the Awakening, everything is fine, everything is cool, and you are getting a lot of stuff. One of the changes that I'm really hype about is the change to Nakai. Nakai will be able, when the campaign begins, change when he wants to start. So I can go to Bretonia, I can go to Norska, Darklands, Saltlands, Lustria, Nagaroth, Ulfwan, or just remain here. In Cathay? Yeah, I think it's Cathay. Meaning that your campaign can be different each time when you're playing. You can get back to Lustria, you can go to Nagaroth, or let's make it crazy, let's go to the Darklands. Hero sadly is staying. It's something that we are still working on. We shall see if it works on the release, but you can always just disband and move him. So yeah, you can see we are now in the Darklands, and this is how our campaign will be. But it's not all the changes to the Nakai. Nakai is getting some of the cool changes, is that he's actually getting a spawning sequence per turn. So normally in vanilla he got it only from the missions, which was quite terrible, let's face it. Now he's getting it from his main chain. This is his like a base per turn. But what about his smaller hordes? The smaller hordes are making that a Rite of Awakening. This one is getting the higher. So as we were talking that the Templars were doing this for the normal Lizardmen, now the normal armies are doing it for Nakai. So more armies you will have, the spawning sequence will be higher and higher and higher and higher. There are a lot of small changes here and there for the Nakai, but I don't want to spoil everything. The big change goes also to the technology tree. It's totally rework in terms of the effects. Is that in vanilla it's like every technology is having different effects, and we thought that this is not the best idea, because some of the technologies like the sequences of war or sequences of growth here in the middle are linear in a way. So we made that they are linear. Again, you can see more experience for units, army capacity, global recruitment, alignments gained from battle. Alignment is very important because it's one of the SFO resources. But as you can see, we are getting those here and there. Growth sequence, again, similar effects, the same effects, all of them, but just progressively. And all of the different technologies received some very cool effects, like the ambush chances, because there were no things like that. Winds of magic, because it's needed. The plague spreading chance lowered, because Nakai doesn't have it. No one knows why. Increase the amount of spawning sequencing by rites, 25%, not 5% like it's in vanilla, which is funny. And also there's a unique technology tree on the right for Nakai that is quite crazy in terms of the effects. If you don't know, it's in SFO for quite some time, but they got the buffs also here. Don't want to spoil everything, but it's very, very cool. Of course, remember, those are not all the changes. The changelog right now for Rise of the Rat is available to the patrons, SFO patrons, so I highly encourage you, because this is the best way to support us and allowing us to work full-time still on this mod and making all of those free improvements for you. The changelog will be available for everyone tomorrow when I'm recording this, so on Thursday 18th of September, with the release of this update that will be on stream, which I encourage you to come because we will be talking, showing some stuff and just having some fun while releasing the update. So yes, this would be everything for this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button and don't wonder too much, because thanks to the new changes, Nakai can be everywhere and you never know when you will meet him. I was Venris and I'm out. See ya.